Norwegian cat. Tom, the neighbor's moving today. Tom frowned and flung himself onto his cotton-checkered bedsheets. New neighbors were nothing interesting, just another pain in the neck. The reason he had to be woken up to be told this information was very unclear to him. In the end, they were just another obstacle. Tom was what he considered to be your average teenager. Average height, failing classes, prone to anxiety attacks, addicted to the internet, the usual. He snatched up a gray hoodie from the floor and tugged it over his head. The window was hastily pushed open. A gust of cool air immediately struck him and flooded his stuffy room. He did notice the large white moving truck parked outside the neighbor's new house, an arm's length from his own, but decided it was too early to care about it. Snatching up his headphones, he immediately put his playlist on shuffle. A familiar melody filled Tom's ears as he tapped his fingers to the beat. "I've been watching you for some time. Can you stop staring at those ocean eyes?" Tom pushed himself up from his bed and nodded his head to the beat as he tunefully sang the lyrics to himself. Oh God. Burning cities in Nepalium skies, 15 flares inside those ocean eyes. He twirled the strings of his headphones around his index finger as he pressed his lips together. Your ocean eyes. The lyrics continued, but the words did not come from Tom's lips. Tom spun around to face the window, unaware of the sun-foraging voice joining the solo. A quiet voice, yet those three words were as clear as day. A small black cat was perched on his faded powder blue windowsill. It gingerly licked its padded paw and smoothed down the sleek fur behind its ear. Tom cast a worried glance and kneeled down till he was eye level with the feline, who he suspected was a culprit. Did you just sing? A theatrical giggle filled Tom's empty room. His deep black eyes darted around and finally locked eyes with another pair. Peering out of the red window frame in the house parallel to his own were the eyes of a stranger, a boy who leaned on the window ledge of the house beside Tom's. He had fluffy caramel brown hair that flicked up like horns. It was buried under a lilac flower crown, woven with roses and emerald green stems. His sweater was also a matching purple, loosely pulled over a white button-up shirt. His outfit was completed with a silver chains hanging around his neck and an assortment of gemstone jewelry in the form of rings and bangles. Though his style seemed odd, it was nothing against his most striking feature, his eyes. Oh boy. Heterochromatic, one silver eye, one red eye. His head was thrown back, a sprightly giggle leaving his lips. It took a few minutes for the laughter to stop and the stranger to simmer down. Really something going to. Huh? Cats don't speak silly. That was the voice of none other than you truly. Oh, you have a nice voice. You too, kitty boy. Kitty boy? Tom's face scrunched up in alarm. Being offended by the childless nickname, the stranger grinned and stretched out an arm for a welcoming handshake. "Come toward your new neighbor. Friend, possible love interest, comrade, pal." Tom reluctantly reached out his hand and grasped Tord's ice-cold hand. Tord rather roughly shook their hands together. Tom dizzily withdrew and slipped his headphones around his neck. I'm Tom, I'm not the sociable or exciting, so don't expect surprise midnight voyages. Tord pouted, sticking out his bottom lip. Aw, I totally thought you'd be the type to rebel with me. Well, I actually care about school and have to keep my education in gear. Tord was silent before sniggering and placing his hand under his chin. Smart boy, you thought the cat was singing to you. Hey, I didn't know you existed until a few minutes ago. Tom defended himself as Torty kept smiling the same Chester cat smile. A female voice called on Torch from another room in his house. His expression bitterly twisted into a mix between sadness and disappointment. Lost my call for dinner and we should talk later. Because I'm just the most interesting person, such a sparkling conversationist, something like that. No promises, I'll be awake, Tord. Until then, kitty boy. Until then. You know, reading it, and I haven't read Dear Starboy in a long time. The first time I was crying like shit. Um, I might make the second part of Dear Starboy if y'all would like me to. I'm sorry if it's not what y'all thought it would be, and if my voice is annoying. Well, anyways, bye.